Florida is bracing for Hurricane Ian, which has already passed over the west end of Cuba. It's expected to strengthen further into a Category 4 storm before reaching the west coast of Florida sometime tomorrow. CBS reporter Christian Benavides joins us now live from St. Petersburg, one of the places that could get a direct hit.
Good morning, Justin. That's exactly right. In fact, you think about it, we've sort of talked about this throughout the day, but the Tampa Bay region hasn't had a direct hit from a major hurricane since 1921. That's over a century ago. So this hurricane, if it does follow this track, will really be a test of the current infrastructure. And that also means that people who live here will likely see storm surge like never before, which is why officials have told people that live in outlying areas to get out now. Up and down the west coast of Florida, people are bracing for the arrival of Hurricane Ian.
They say mandatory evacuation. It's time to go.
Ian has grown significantly in the past 24 hours and is expected to develop into a Category 4 storm with 140-mile-an-hour winds.
Property damage and these things, it's terrible that would happen in a storm, but we can fix that. We can help rebuild, but you got to take care of yourself.
It's been more than a century since a major hurricane directly hit Tampa Bay. These pictures from the aftermath of that storm. Homes destroyed, ships run aground. Officials there worry the region could face similar scenes this time around.
This is not a drill. Be prepared for anything.
The National Hurricane Center says Ian's exact path is still uncertain, but even if the eye stays offshore, a 10 to 15-foot storm surge could still inundate the Tampa-St. Petersburg area.
That is a tremendous amount of water. You do not want to decide to evacuate when you see water coming under the door of your home.
As many as 300,000 people may be forced from their homes. And Ian is forecasted to reach Category 4 strength within the next 36 hours before making landfall here in Florida. Justin?
Now, we know officials are telling people to take these warnings very seriously, but sometimes that's kind of hard. Tell us what you're noticing. You're from Florida. What are people doing? Are they taking heed to that?
They certainly are. I've mentioned this sort of throughout the day that Floridians get flagged for allegedly not preparing for storms, but they certainly are doing so. There are always going to be those outliers, one or two people who decide to stay at their homes despite officials telling them, hey, listen, this is likely a 1-in-100-year storm and you need to get out. There are always going to be people that stay behind, but the vast majority of people are heeding those warnings. In fact, yesterday, officials said that to get from St. Petersburg here on the west coast of Florida to get to the east coast where Orlando is located, typically that takes about 2 hours, 110 miles away. Officials say prepare to be on the road from 4 to 10 hours. Justin?
Wow, we know a lot of eyes will be on that storm. Thank you so much.